Okay, class, welcome. I presume that you are watching this because you need some help on assignment 8. Now the thing is, let's go ahead and start off with what the assignment has. The assignment has these helps on, how to convert a letter into a number into a letter, finding out if any letter is an alphabet letter, if it's a digit, and then it doesn't have how to open a file, but luckily this does have how to open a file. So let's go ahead and start with that. And that's not what we want. We want to go back to PyCharm and plonk that in. Now, what I did is I already started with a file. I've got a file that has a whole bunch of just stuff in here. And so this is the actual assignment right here, the Python file. And over here is my text. They have to be in the exact same folder for them to see each other. So I have to change this from filename.extension to what's the file name? Bob. What's the extension? .txt. All right, if I run this, then there it is. I see all these things. It worked great. What I want to do is I want to actually define two functions just for myself. I'm going to have encryption1. I'm going to pass in the line, and I'm going to do something. And then I'm going to create another one. Let's call it encryption. Did I spell it right? Encryption2. I'm going to pass in the line. And I'm also going to do nothing right now. So at this point, instead of printing the line, I'll just call each one of these. So encryption, pass in the line, and then encryption, and pass in the line. There we go. All right, so that should work out pretty well. And in each of these, I'm going to change it. So it says print encryption1 colon, and I'll do the same thing for here. In fact, I'll even start off with a print original colon, and then let's have that line. And this, of course, should be 2. So let's see what happens. Okay, so we have the original ABC, blah, blah, blah. Everything's working. Encryption 1 does nothing. Encryption 2 does nothing. So for encryption 1, let's see how to change this. Well, a long time ago, at the beginning of the semester, we talked about how a string is just like a list. So we can say for ch, as in character, in line, and then we're just going to print every single one. And we could do the same thing for the other encryption method too, just for kicks, and voila. So let's see that. All right, let's go to the very top. And we see the original, then there it is, ABC, space ABC, and so forth. And then we see encryption 2, ABC, ABC. So far, so good. Now, what we want to do with encryption method number 1 is we just want to add everything. So we want to change an A will be represented by a B, and B will be represented by a C, and so forth. So what we're going to do is do that. So how do you change a character into a number? Well, luckily, this actually tells us exactly how to do it here, and it's also on the website. So I'm going to say chnum equals the ordinal value, which means just the number value of our character, and then I'm going to print that. In fact, I'll print them together. I'll say ch, comma, chnum, and that should print out. So there's encryption number 2, and then there's encryption number 1. And so for number 1, you see that every single letter and then every number is together. If we could look at the ASCII table, which I have right here, you'll see the letter lowercase a is 97, capital A is 65. So if we go back to Python, A, 97, capital A, 65. So that works. Okay, so far so good. So how in Python do you increase things? So we have chnum, And we can just add 1 to it. And then, in fact, we'll move this over here so it's at the end. And I'll take ch, and then I'll say ch changed equals, equals, and then what's that other one that we do over here to change it back? Ah, there it is, chr. So I do a chr to take our number that we just changed back, and then I'll change that right there. So this should be the original, this should be lowercase a, and then the next one should be a lowercase b. And lo and behold, it worked. Kind of. A became B, B became C, C became D, but a space became an exclamation mark. Let's see why that happened. If we go here, a space is a 32, and 32 plus 1 is 33. 33 changed back is an exclamation mark. So that works. But here's the thing. I really don't want to change this. So I'm just going to do all of these changes if ch is a letter, or alpha, as they might say, and as part of the alphabet. Otherwise, I'm going to just print out ch again. Let's see if that works. And let's go to the very top. Aha, yes it did. So A became B, B became C, C became D, and space remains space. And you can see that the period stayed the same, the other punctuation stayed the same, the number stayed the same, and so forth and so on. Okay, so at this point we don't need to have the original anymore, just the changed. And here's the secret that we talked about a long time ago, but if, oh, that's the wrong thing. If we don't want it to have the default new line, we just say, okay, as soon as I'm done printing, have the end of nothing. So here we can change this to nothing equal as well, because by default the end at the end of the print function, it has a new line or carriage return by default. Now we'll simply change it to here. So encryption 1, aha, that worked out pretty well. B, C, D, blah, blah, blah. And that worked out great. And I think everybody was pretty much at that point when we went from face-to-face to online. Now what we want to do is start understanding encryption number 2. All right, so encryption number 2, if it's a letter, so I'll just grab this right here. If it is in fact a letter, then we want to go ahead and we'll just print out ch, and we'll have end equals nothing, just like here. And if it's not, so if it's anything else, then we will just go like that. And we should, because of how this works, since we haven't changed anything at all, it should be the original again. And look, encryption, oh, I need a new line character return here, so I'll just put a /n, because this never ended with a character return. So let's do that. Okay, there we go. So encryption 1, it all changed. Encryption 2, nothing changed. Good. In fact, let's go ahead and put a new line here so it's all consistent. There we go. Original, there it is. Encryption 1, good. Encryption 2, okay, nothing's changed yet. But what do we actually want to do? So encryption 2, if a letter is like A, it should be 0, 1. Okay, how do we do that? Well, it just so happens that A is a 97. Cool. So let's see what happens. We want to, and we'll just grab this again. Boom. All right. And we will plop that in and put in our ch num here and see what happens. All right. All right. In fact, we'll get rid of actually this this end so that it does form on a new line, and we'll get rid of this so it's vertical again. We could put the end back in later when we're all done. Okay, so the lowercase a is a 97. So now that we have that, how do we subtract something sufficient to get 97 to be 1? 97 minus what equals 1? Well, you probably know that 97 minus equals 96 will probably get us there. Let's see how that works. Did that work for us? Aha! A, B, excellent. Now, one of the things it does say is it should be a 0. So where it is, it should be a 0, 1, for example. And so we don't want something a 1. We want every character to be at least 2 digits. So that needs to be a 0, 1, not a 1. So how do we do that? Well, if chnum happens to be, if it's less than 10, then all we have to do is print a 0. And might as well have a end equals nothing on that part for us. Okay, let's get rid of that ch. Let's print this, see what happens here. So yes, that helped. So in other words, if ch is like as a 1 or a 2 or a 3 or a 4 or a 5 or a 6 or 7 or 8 or a 9, it'll put a 0 right in front of it and then the rest of it. And that's how they became a 0, 1. Cool, that worked. Unfortunately, when we get to some really big numbers, or should I say, let me back out, when we get to big letters, they're only 65. Oh, capital A is from 65 to 90. So I don't want to do the whole project for you, but if I help you out, one thing I'll do is I'll say if, oops, not right there. That's the wrong place. If, there it is, right there. If chnum, if it's between, and this is where our range comes in, if it's between 97, so 97 is less than or equal to the character num, which is less than or equal to, what's z? 122, 122, then I will do this stuff. Otherwise, what is it going to be? 65. So otherwise it'll do chnum minus equals 65. Pretty cool. All right, I could even keep all this stuff as it is. All right, there, and put an else here. So if, basically what this is saying is, if chnum is lowercase, subtract 96. If it's capital, subtract 65. So let's see how that works. All right, pretty cool. This became a 1, 2, 3. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. We did something bad because what did we do? We changed capital A to subtracting 65. Now it's a 0. Oh dear. That's not good. What we really want is we want a capital A just to be 27 because there are 26 letters. So capital A should be a 27. Okay, well, we have a 65 and we want it to become a 27. So 65 minus what becomes a 27? So let's bring up a calculator. So 65 minus 27 is 38. So what happens if I subtract not 65 but 38? If I scroll back up, hey, capital A, is that a 27? Is that what it's supposed to be? Yes, indeed it is. All right, so if I were to continue with this assignment, I would have comma end equals and then the nothing, as well as comma end equals nothing. So now it will say all this stuff. Now the problem is, well, if we go back here, Now what we need to do is we need to convert each digit into 2 letters. So for example, 8 should be written out as E-I-G-H-T. So 8 would be capital E, lowercase I. So we have that here. 83, we're going to find that 8. E-I for the 8, T-H for the 3. So what we're going to have to do now is if it's alpha or alphabet letter, do this. Else if ch dot is digit, then what we're going to do is convert the digits to the two-letter to the two-letter combination for it. That'll do. There we go. So this is what I have so far. I mean, you don't have to take my code. You don't have to use it. Hopefully you're actually already done. If not, you don't have to worry about it because this is probably a little bit too much help, but I figure too much help is definitely a lot better than not enough help. Okay, so I'm going to let you figure out how to do this. You have a week to do it. Today's Wednesday the 18th, and this is due in 1 week. So email me if you have any questions. I hope that you're not panicking, that you're in a situation where you can work this out. If you have any questions, just let me know. All right, Dr. Ball out.